All right, so good morning once again. Welcome to Digital Z Hub, an online platform where we offer a variety of tech training, ranging from cybersecurity, web development, data analytics, graphics design, AutoCAD 650. Think of any trading scale. We have it at Digital Z Hub. Digital Z Hub is 100% online training platform. Our services are offered 100% online via live Zoom. All right, so welcome to this section. This is web development section. And currently we are still on the HTML and CSS, trying to understand some of the basic building blocks which are used in developing websites. So far, so good. We have talked about several tags, which are the direct elements from HTML for adding content to our web pages. And we have also looked at a couple of CSS properties, which are used uh, for determining the presentation of those contents in order for us to have a user-friendly web pages, a web page that is worthy of entertaining, encouraging our users to continue to visit our website. So our last class, we talked about media. I think it was strictly on media tags, right?
Yes, sir.
It was on media tags. So we learned that there are certain tags that are dedicated for just adding media content to a web page. For example, adding images to a website, adding video, and even cloning another HTML document within another HTML document. We learned that with the iframe, and just as you can see on the screen, this particular video wasn't directly created here. It was created and stored in our YouTube page, and with the help of the iframe tag, we were able to clone it here. So which means that user does not need to visit our YouTube page before they can watch this video. So these are some of the things we achieved with the iframe. All right. Do you have any question from that class before I proceed with the next?
No, for now, no.
All right. So I believe that before the next meeting, you should have gone through that iframe video and
Yes,
go to
yes.
what to apply it correctly. So I will start by asking you, how will you rate Digital Z Hub services, our training services? What can you say about Digital Z Hub quickly before we commence the training?
It's a digital platform where the services rendered is being professional. They teach you in the simplest way you will understand. Even when you don't understand, there's a recording that also puts you through. The teacher is polite, and I have really been enjoying my classes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we still encourage all our students to continue to help us to share our social media platform adverts so that people can connect. So just in case you want to reach us directly, uh, you can reach WhatsApp us on this number on the screen, 234 7069665919. You want to reach us via uh YouTube, just go to arts, Digitech, Digitech, just make sure that it's lowercase, Digitech Z Hub. So with this, you should be able to locate our platform on YouTube channel. We have running to 300 master classes video already uploaded, which can be of beneficiary to you. So you want to also reach us on TikTok. Digital Z Hub is also on TikTok. So you can reach out to us on TikTok as Digital Z and then all you need is just to add dots in between. You want to reach us on Facebook, the same thing, Digital Zeal Hub. All right, on Instagram, the same thing, Digital Zeal Hub. So welcome to this section as I take us through still on web development. So before I start, my name is Aguero Prosper. I'm IT consultant, currently the faculty head or consulting faculty at NIT Asaba and the CEO at Digital Zeal Hub. So I'm going to be your facilitator and I want you to relax as you follow us on this journey. All right, so back to our topic. In this section, we are looking at HTML listing tags. So we are looking at HTML listing tags. HTML listing tag. HTML listing tag. HTML listing tag. So that shall be our focus in this particular section. HTML listing tag. Now, for proper understanding, let me make a different file. Let me make a new file. I think this, okay, let me create a new file. Lists.html. Then, of course, I have to activate the HTML simple file structure. And then let me change the title to align with the topic. It's an introduction to HTML listing tags. All right, so what do we mean by HTML listing tag? As the word or the name implies, listing, as the name implies, listing. Now, when we say listing, we are talking about mentioning item or things within our website. For example, let me take us to the front end to see exactly what we are talking about. So I also want to believe that you must have come across different websites where probably, let's say, an e-commerce website or a portfolio website where the individual or the company must have listed the services they offer. So that is a typical example or application of listing tag, right? So for example, we have not listed anything. Let's assume that has to build a website and the website is expected to highlight the different category of services you offer or the person offer. So we are going to say, we are going to list them vertically. Let's say we offer, there will be a title that talks about what? We offer the following services. So one will be this, second one will follow. So for you to be able to list out things vertically within your website, you need this set of what? Tags. I don't know if you are following. Hope you are following me, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I just want us to understand the best scenario where this particular tag is needed. So like I've told us before, all these tags that we are learning, they all have their own application what scenarios. So as you are learning them, you need to also know what you are going to do with them as a developer. Okay, so that is why I have to run through that explanation so that you know that you don't just wake up and say you want to use HTML listing tag. So there should be a reason for it. And the reason is whenever you want to list item, it could be images, it could be maybe the name of the product vertically. That is when you involve the HTML listing tag. So let's quickly get the official definition of it. So HTML provide several. HTML provide HTML provide several tabs, which we are going to see as we proceed. To create lists, which are essential, for optimizing, for organizing, that's the keyword, organizing content in a structured manner. That is exactly the main reason you are considering how you can organize certain structure in your web page. So like I highlighted, I want to mention a list of services the company or we offer. So, and I don't want them to be mentioned anyhow. I don't want them to be scattered. So I want them to be well structured. I want them to be well organized. So that is when I need what? Lists, provided they are going to be vertically what? Mentioned. I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's quickly look at HTML, that's types of HTML list types. Let's quickly talk about the types of HTML listing tag. Types of HTML listing tags. So there are three major types of HTML listing tags that every developer should know how to work with. There are three types. Number one is order lists, which is denoted with what? OL tag. Order list. So this means ordered, as the name implies, order lists. So order list is denoted or represented as OL, as a tag. Now, just to define it, or what is the purpose of this list? What do we intend to achieve with this list as developers? Now, the order lists, the purpose of it is to create an ordered list, just like the name implies. Well-arranged lists where items are numbered, or marked with specific sequence. Let me put it in writing. I said the purpose of this is what? To create an ordered lists. All right, comma, where items are numbered. So the key word here is what? Numbered. Numbered or marked with a specific sequence. Marked with specific sequence. For example, we have number one. So let's assume that I'm asked to list my services within one of my web page, and I want to say, let's say our services. Just trying to illustrate what we are talking about. Let's say our what? Services. Now under it, I'll say one, web development. Two, data analytics. So you can see the way I mentioned them vertically, and from what I mentioned in the definition, I said order list is used to create an order list where items are numbered. So you can see the marker is numbered, numbers. Now, and again, or marked with what? Sequence.
Specific sequence.
You can see that they are sequential. After 1, 2, after 2, what? 3, after 3, 4. That is the ordered list. Now, there are other options that we can use as we proceed, you understand. If I don't want to use this number as my marker, I can use A, B, C, D. Okay, these markers still falls under order list. If I don't want to use A, B, C, D, I can use Roman figure. So 1, 2, 3, these are the 3 allowed type of what? Markers that can be used when you are dealing with what? Order lists. Now, the whole of this marker, 1, 2, what is going to generate it is just this. So with that illustration, let's quickly dive into the coding properly. You will now understand. I just want us to have a picture of what we are talking about. So let's say I want to code those items. I want to list them just like the way I mentioned them before. So the first thing I'm going to do, there was a heading called our services. So I can use any of the heading tag to, to outline that. So I can say our services include. So I'll stop here. So if I check the front end, I have our services include. Now, which means that I'm about to what? To list those services. Now, the OL, like I said, the OL, you just type OL and press enter. So you expand it because it's acting as a container that is grouping what? Set of what? Listed item. So now if you go to the front end, you discover that you have not coded anything outside the H4. So this particular tag needs another subordinate tag to help it to mention those items. You have just used this OL to specify the type of marker to either be what? 1, 2, 3, that is number, or Roman number, or what? Alphabet. That is the rule of this what? OL. At the same time, it's going to serve as a grouping element. Now, you can now add this note. Now, note, the order lists uses lists. Let me put it here as additional note. The ordered list uses this tag li, which is called what? The list itself, to mention the item, the items. Okay, that is why we couldn't see any of those items mentioned. Because when you open up the OL, the only thing you have achieved is to specify the type of number or what? Marker. Now, to now declare those contents, you have to be inside the OL. Okay? You have to be inside the OL. And then, now let's quickly give it a class because we must still use OL within this same what? Page. So class helps us to differentiate this particular OL from what? Any other OL that will be used within the same what? File. So I will say this one is OL1. So now to mention the first item, which is what? Let's say cybersecurity. So I'll use LI. So you can see that the LI is now a sub tag under what? OL or UL. So whenever you are using any of this type of list, you will definitely declare the contents, what you are mentioning, or you are listing with the what? The LI. So the inside the LI content parts, that is between the closing tag or section and between the opening section of the tag of that LI and the closing section of the LI, which is here and here, I will now mention that item, which is, let's say, cyber security. Cyber security training. Now, to mention the next item, I will just copy this, Ctrl+C, just to save my time, and paste it. Then I will only change the content parts. So let's say web development. So paste it again, edit the content part. So let's say data analytics. Paste again, let's say AutoCAD. So and more. Now that I did not use up the space, I can just reduce it. So you can see the code structure. So from what I have summarized so far, why did we create this? If you go back to the front end now, you can see that what? It came out with what? Numbers, 1, 2, 3. So what actually generated the number is what? The OL that you declare as the very first container. So what generated the item is the what? The LI that you created inside the OL. I hope that is clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now that we understand the OL tag now and the LI now, supposing I want to manipulate these markers, I want to change the marker from number to Roman numbers or to alphabet, which I told you that the three of them are within the OL what application. How do we do that? That will take us to another topic. And the topic is OL, so right, OL type attributes. OL what type attributes. So like I've already explained in one of the classes, I said the word attributes in HTML represents, or the word attributes in HTML provide additional information about that particular tag. So when we say OL attributes, we are talking about additional functions or property that can further describe the OL, that can change the appearance of the OL, that can be used to manipulate it. This is not CSS now. Just manipulating the marker type from number to what? Roman number, from Roman number to alphabet. So these are the things we call what? Attributes. Now, the moment you hear attributes, it means that is within the parameter of what? HTML. Attribute is not the language of CSS. So which means we are saying that inside this OL, we will go in there, the last added attribute was class, like I've explained before. So if I want to add another attribute, I have to go to where the last one stopped and space. And then after spacing, then you type type. You type and then click on it. So this is the attribute. Now, by default, is already programmed on 1, 2, 3, which is number. Now we want to change to, let's say, small letter alphabet. You use this. We want to change to capital letter alphabet. You choose this. So if I choose this and I go back to my front page, you can see that what? We have automatically what? Changed the marker from number to what? Alphabet. It's simple as that. It's just for you to know, for you to add this type, and then you pass in the attribute. So let me put small letter there, and then you see that it has also what? Changed. I hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, if I want Roman figure, I will just type what? Letter I. The small letter or capital letter. By the time you go back to the front end, you see that what? You have also what? Changed that. Now, so these are the attributes you can use to manipulate the marker of your order list. Any question?
Also.
Okay, so there's no question. Let's do some CSS styling. Remember that we are learning HTML as a structural language alongside with what? Styling what? Language, which is the CSS. So now let's enhance. We want to improve the appearance of these contents. We want to make them look presentable and readable to our users. So I'm going to start with the header, because I'm assuming that this is a real website, or I have a section within my real website where I want to what? Attach this particular listed items. So my H4, I will just what? ID it. So let me use ID so that you can understand it, because I noticed you were having issue with this on that anchor tag. You see, once you give an element ID, ID is another means of uniquely identifying your content or differentiating one element from the other within your web page. So let's say the ID is what? OL1. That is the ID. Sorry, this should be the ID. Let's say the ID is H4. For example, you can still use the name of the tag as the ID. Now, we need to create, the last time I think we worked with internal CSS, right? I think I used internal CSS. So just to refresh your memory, let me still use the internal CSS. So if I'm using external CSS, it means that I need to add what? I need to add a style tag within my head section, and then wrap all my CSS property inside it. So now I will have to select my HTML elements. So I want to select the element I give an ID H4. So how do you select ID elements? Elements with a unique identifier as an ID. How do you select it? You start with hash. Did you get the logic now? You start with hash, and then follow by the name of that before you open what? Your brackets. So this was the mistake you made the other time. Once you see a developer in CSS starting with hash, it means he or she is acknowledging that that element has what? An ID as a means of what? Identifying it or differentiating it from others. So now, once you have done that, your property, I want to start with the color. The color, I want to give it blue. I want to give it blue. So let me check the communication. Perfect. I also want to increase the size, font size. Now, font size, let me give it, being the header, let me make it an average of what? 20 PS. Now, I want to speak to my lists item, and then you need to understand the structure of your code. The structure of your code is that you have the parent element, which is the OL, and then you have the child elements nested what? Inside what? The parent element. So you should be able to know how to model the relationship between your HTML what? File structure or HTML content. So now we have already classed the what? The OL as the container with the name what? OL1. Now, because it is a class element, so here I'll use comment. Let's say what? Styling the what? The parent elements, which is what? The OL, which is the OL, which is the OL. Now, being the container, I want to determine its background. Maybe the particular section in my website where I am integrating this has a background already. And I want this to stand out because probably the services I'm mentioning, they are very important. I want, as soon as the user gets to the page, they should be able to see them. So I will not want the general background to overshadow them. So I can give the whole of that part its own different background. And to achieve that, we have to use the container to do that, which is the dot, because it's a class element. That is the reason why I am starting with the dots. Hope you are taking note of the differences now. If it is an ID, you start with hash, followed by the name. If it is a class element, you start with what? Dots, followed by that same name, OL1. And then before you declare your block, your code block. Now, the first style is the background color. I want the background color to be, let's say, black. So if I go back now, you'll see that is taking the full width. So which means that the OL itself is a block element. Remember, I've spoken about block element before, an inline element. Block elements are elements that by default, they take the entire page width. You can see it here now. When we have not added the background, you did not know that just calling the OL, the whole of that width has been used. So now that we have changed the background color to black, now every other content should not use black color, which is the write-up. So I will just say color. Color for now, I'm going to add the color to the parent element. I can as well add the color to the LI. Okay, so let's say the color is, let's use white. So if I go back to my front end, you see that we have been able to bring out So right now, we spoke to the container color. Ordinarily, you are not supposed to use color to style a container. You can only use background color. Are you with me? Yes, you can use background color, but you use color as if you are talking to a text. So what happened is that it's just like a parent or a father and a child, and the child do not or could not build his or her house, and then the parent has some houses. What do you think will happen automatically? The child will claim, right? The parent houses. So when you add the color to the container, which is the parent, you are not actually using it to communicate to the parent itself. You are saying that peradventure there is any child in you that you have not spoken to individually, should automatically inherit the property of the parents. That is what happens here. Now, another thing I want us to achieve is that I don't want the OL to cover the entire page width. In other words, I have maybe something else that is coming somewhere here. So I just want it to stop somewhere here. So which means that I need to also work on the width. So how do we communicate that? While you are inside it, you say width. So width, I'll make it 50%, half of the current width, so that space can be reserved for other things. So that I make it 50%, I say 40 or 30%. I hope I am communicating. Are you still with me, sir? I hope you are here. Hello? So let me wait until I get to the... Okay, good. Please.
See?
So now I want to speak to the LI, or the LI, I want to speak to them. So I'm going to select them with their parent element. Now listen, you can have another list somewhere else. For example, now we can have the UL, which is the next one we are going to talk about. You can have web here. Now, if you go to the page now, you see that we have another content created, but with a different list type. Now, but the point I'm making is that this content and this content, they were all created with the same tag list li. The only difference is what? The container. Now, if you go to the web page now, if you go to the CSS and just do something like this, and just do what? Li, and you say what? Color, and you say color. Let's say red. Say color, let's say red. What will happen is that all of them will have the red, including the ones you created with the OL and the ones you created with what? The UL. Are you following? Hello? Are you here?
Yes, sir. Yes.
To make sure that you are not distracted. Now, so now what is happening here is that you are not using the LI, the list items are not class, neither what? ID. So, but I don't want to start going in here and start classing LI, class this one, and then I'll come here and class this one differently. I don't want to do all that. That is like wasting of time. So I'm going to use a logic called what? CSS what? Combinator. So which means that a way of talking to a child through his parents. The practical example I always give is that my name is Eguero, sorry, Prosper Eguero. Now, if you go to my village now and start shouting Prosper, nobody will answer you because it will be difficult for them to know which Prosper you are talking about. But if you go to that village and search for me through my father name, Eguero Prosper, everybody will shift their focus to Eguero family and start looking for the Prosper there. So that is the idea. So that is the concept I want to use now. I have Li in another person's what? Family. I have another Li again, the same name, just like the way you can have Prosper in different family. Now, how do you communicate that, okay, it is Prosper in OF family you want to talk to? So you are going to use the father name to reference it. So this is how you select it. You are not going to just say Li. You saw the implication of selecting what? Just Li. So just to enhance with comment, I'll say styling, all the Li's, all the Li tags only in OL tag, only in OL tag. I hope you are with me. Only in what? OL what? Tag. So they are the only ones I want to speak to. So how do I communicate that? I will start by referencing the father's name, which is what? Now, the father has another class name from its original name. So it's either we use OL. Now, why I don't want to use OL direct? Because I can have another OL with another set of what? Lists. So there will still be conflict. So instead, let me talk to this OL with the class name. So the class name is OL1. So being a class element, remember the standard, I'll start with what? Dot OL1. Then I will now space before I call what? Li, before you declare your CSS what? Block. So now the first thing I want to do is to say, for example, the color, we have already, currently they are using what? The parent color. So I will say color green. So the moment I have assigned its color, it will drop the parent's column. Are you still here? Hello? Is it your network or you are not here? Please, I need to get quick response, please.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear
Hello?
me? Is it your network? It's taking you time to respond.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so as we can see, initially it was showing white because we assigned white to the parent element. So the moment the child receives, so what is happening here is that the child was initially what? Staying with the father. For the moment that child builds his or her house, we automatically disconnect himself from what the parent what house. That is what happened. At that point, when we said white, we have not spoken to what? To the child itself. Now that you have spoken to the child itself, child has dropped the parent appearance and has taken what? It assigned appearance. So you can see how we are talking to this. So I want to also improve the font size, let's say to 18 PS. I want to do that. Okay, then if for any reason I want the letters to be slanted a little, so I'll say what? I'll say font style. Then I'll say what? Italic. So if I check, you see that what? Now, these are the things you should be asking yourself. When you change from one appearance to the other, you need to find out whether this one is actually better than the other one, because everything geared towards giving or offering the users what? Good experience. Don't forget the UI what? And US, that are designer that we are. So I will ask myself, slanting them, are they more visible? Because these are very important what? Adverts. So I believe this is more organized, though I wouldn't conclude here until we have other content published. Then you can now see whether how this is affecting the other content. So the next thing I want us to look at is any questions so far? Any questions so far? Any question? Because I want to quickly move to the next types of what? HTML
Yes.
lists, because we are discussing different types of HTML what?
Hello.
Lists. So
Hello.
this is OL, so that we can go to UL. Are you with me?
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me? I have
Yes.
a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. After you call the H4, so later you now put the ID.
Yes.
Then after that you call the OL.
Yes.
So after the OL, you call class.
Yes.
So I don't know how this equals to OL1 appeared.
This very one.
Yes. After class, then this, I don't know how this appeared.
Yes. Yes. See, when you are classing people, you class them as rich or poor, right? Are you with me? Classing means you are grouping people or grouping items. So I choose this name for this class. It's not constant. You can put your name there. You can put any word there. I decided to use OL1. The reason is that in case I have another OL tag open within here, I will not give, this is it. Let's say I have another OL here. I will not give it what? Class. I'm just trying to be sequential with my class name. I will not say this one is OL what? 2. Did you understand?
This is what I'm talking about. After the class, how did this come up?
This very one.
Because in my own, it's not coming up. That's what I'm asking. I don't know if I should share my screen.
Yeah, share your screen. Share your screen. Let me quickly take care of that. Think.
Yes. After here,
Hmm.
then you call the OL.
Mm-hmm.
After the OL, then class, right?
No, you have to go inside the OL. That is not where it should be.
Okay, inside here.
Yes, that is where you add attribute.
Yes, this is okay. This is where I got it
Now
wrong.
you space. No, even it will not work. You have to
Space.
space first. Good. Yes.
Okay, this is what I was not getting.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
let's proceed.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So let me take this off now. So I was asking, or I was concluding that we have done justice towards OL. So I believe that you can use the words, the lists, the OL to mention item. Now, it is not only text that the OL or the list can actually what list. You can list any content. For example, now I can come here OL now, and then instead of I'll say LI, and then I'll put an image tag inside. Are you following now? Which means that
Yes,
what I am listing what images. So I would have added my picture to my file, and then once I put the /, I go to image. I say, okay, this is the first one. So I can still, while I'm inside the OL, LI again, the next what image tag. So you can actually list anything. It's not just the text. So I can come back here and then select this. So if I go to the, you can see that what I have what 2 images what listed. So depending on whatever you want to list, so the lister can actually accommodate almost all that content. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I just want you to take note of that so that I don't think there is only text that you can list. Now, I still want to improve the appearance of this. For example, just to remind you, I know I've talked about it before. If I want, let's say the letter C is too closer to what? Letter Y. I want some space between the characters. So to achieve that, there is a property that we must have learned. But let me just add it again to refresh your memory. It's called what? Letter what? Spacing.
Spacing.
Letter spacing. So let's just say 10.
Yes.
So the idea is that maybe you just want it to expand like this. It's an appearance that you actually wanted. Fine. Or if that 10 is even too much, because everything you are doing here is tilting towards how it can be best presented to the user. So maybe after using that handwriting, you now discover that the letters are clustered. So you want to like space it so that the letters can be what? Visible. So there must be a need for any of these CSS what? Property usage. Now let's quickly shift our focus to the next type of HTML list, which you can use. So the next type of HTML list is the on order lists. That is the next type, on order lists. So let's quickly talk about that. On order list, just like the direct opposite of the other one. When you say on order, it means that what? You are listing items, but they are not properly what? They are not in order. That is the meaning. So let's look at the definition. The HTML, remember that is denoted with what? UL. Is denoted with UL. The difference between this and the OL is just what? The type of marker. OL mark your item with 1 or alphabet or Roman number. While UL mark your item with what? Shapes. Let's say aesthetic. That is what? Bullets in word. That is what? Shape. So let's look at the definition properly. So I say what? The UL is used to create on order lists. It's used to create an order list where, and bring it down, where items are marked. So you can see this is actually the main differences. Marked with bullets. So if you have learned Microsoft Word, you know what is called bullet and numbering or order. So bullets mean shape or symbol. Bullets mean shape. So anytime you use shape to itemize those items in order to differentiate them, that is called what? On order list. Now, for example, I want to create the same thing that I have created here. That is, I want to mention them, but not with what? Roman number, not with alphabet, using some design to present that. So I'll start by calling UL, and then class it also. Always develop the culture of classing and ID your element, because you can never tell you might still use that particular element within the same file to avoid conflicts in your CSS. So I would say this one is UL1. Now, both the OL and the UL uses the same word tag to create their content, which means that I will just copy the whole of this, whether you are using OL or you are using UL. To create the item, you have to use what? LI. I hope you are following, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I go back to the front end now, you see that what we have created those same items, but what's the difference? The marker. This one is using small dots, which is called what? Dix. So now that we have know how to create our on order lists, let's quickly look at how do we also manipulate the what? The marker. Just like the way I just showed you now, how we're able to change this. Remember that we are able to change
Alphabet, yes.
yes, to maybe to alphabet, we were able to change this swiftly. So how do I change this marker? If I'm not okay, probably person like me, I don't think I'm going to use it because this is too basic. So I would like a very good design. So I must have contacted a graphic designer or probably gone to Google to get some shape like all this check good, all of that. And then I want to use it. So how do I manipulate it? So that is what will take us to on order lists, right? On ordered lists style. You see, you are using CSS. That's why I did not say attributes. So the other one, you use attributes. But for this one, you use CSS. That's why I'm using what? Style attribute. Style. That is what? Style. How to use what? On order list what? Style. I can say style or CSS property. So let me put this one, CSS property. So we are going to achieve this with CSS. Now, remember that we have classes. Now, it is not actually compulsory. Let me also do this, but it is not professional. It is not compulsory that the style must always be in the what? The head section. So I can even communicate CSS here. All I need to do is just to bring out the what? The style tag. But this is not professional because I don't want us to be scrolling up. All right. So I will say, okay, this particular element, I want to speak to it with its what? Class name. So what I'm going to do is to be a class element, I'll start with dots, followed by the name UL1, and then the declaration block. So I will say, number one, I want background color, and then I want the background color to be blue. So let's check. You see that what? We are able to communicate it. All right. So I also want to reduce the width. So I'll say the width should also be 50%. I hope you are still following. 50%. Hello, are you hearing me? Are you here?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And I hope the speed is not too much because I believe you are now becoming a developer. So we don't need to pamper you again, but eventually the speed is too much. Just let me know. But you are following, Sha, right?
Yes, I'm following. Just that I'm using earpiece. So when you ask a question, I have to unplug the earpiece before you can hear me. That's why sometimes I don't reply quickly.
No problem. Okay, so I want to do something. I want to, let's say you have a background that is actually distracting the portion of this and you want it to stand out. So I can add border so that we can also be refreshed on how to border what element. So I can say what border. All right. So when you are assigning border, there are three properties you declare with the shorthand. One, the thickness of the border line. Two, the type of the border line. Three, the color of the border line. So how do you communicate all this? So I'll simply say, okay, 2 PS is what? The thickness of the border line. the type of line can either be solid, dotted, offset, inset, and so many groove and the rest. So I can say, okay, I want what? Dotted line, dotted. And then what is going to be the color? I'll say, okay, red. Right? So if I go to the front end, you see that what you have a dotted what? Line. It's actually making it what? To standard if necessary. So I can say, okay, I want this dotted line to change to what? Inset. Just for you to know other type of line you can use instead of just what? The solid. So if you check, you can see this is what inset give to us. You can also use what? Outset. These are different types of line. This is offset, they look alike. And then, of course, you can use solid. All right, so if I don't want them, I just want to refresh your memory on this. I can temporarily what? Comment it out. Now, I'm okay like this. Now, I want to talk to, I want to change this marker. I want to change this marker to any other input. There are some that are input. The fancy ones are not input. So you have to download them and then I will show you how you can add it. So let me start with the input. So for the input, what is responsible for the marker within what you have designed so far is the UL, not the LI. So I shouldn't reference what? The LI. So while I am still inside here, I will just say what? Lists. This is what you use. List, you can use this one, you can use this. So if I'm using this is the default. That particular dot that you saw there, the name of it is what? This. So I can say, okay, I don't want to use this. I want to use cycle. So by the time you go back there, you see that what? The icon have changed. I can say, okay, I don't want to use cycle. I want to use square. I want to use what? Square. So once you go back there, you see that what? You have a square shape. For I am saying that I'm not even comfortable with any of these marker. I want more beautiful type. So what you do is that you now go to your browser if you have not given the design to any graphic designer. There are a couple of them you can access directly from your website, your Google. So just go to Google and say what? Check. Just say check icon. Just search icon. You know any icon you want to use. So let's say I want to use this very one. I want to use this. And then you right click on it. You save it. Save image as. You direct this to your image folder. So we are going to where I have the folder on desktop. And then 5 a.m. Web development class. You open it. Then you go inside the image. And then you give it, let's say what? Check 1. Okay, so that is the first thing to do, to have that resources or that resource in your project folder. I hope you are following, sir. Okay, so now
Yes, sir.
so the next thing is, how do I now communicate it here? How do I communicate that particular icon we just downloaded? Here is the next step. Now, to communicate it, we are going to use, instead of using this list tag, list tag, we are going to use another one because we are bringing external objects. That is the image we want to use. It's not built in the library. So we are bringing it from outside. So I will say what? List style image. So this is the one we are going to use. And then you will now attach URL so that you can specify the location where the image is coming from. And then from that, you will now slash inside. And then you go to what? To the image. And then you locate that icon, which is what? Check 1. So if I go back to the page, it will come, but appear very big, very big, very big. Now, how do I reduce the size is the next step. To reduce the size is not an element that you call like an image that you can go to your CSS and what? Say you want to style. So how do you achieve this? How do you achieve this? So the next thing we are going to do is to go and manually resize that image with Paint. Paint is an inbuilt photo editing app in every window. Okay, so I'll go to the folder. This is how I'm going to edit it. I'll switch from my development environment, come back to the folder, open the folder up, open it up, and then you will now go into the image folder, open it up, identify that image, which is what? Check one. Then right click on it, and then select open with. Right click on it, select open with, and then you'll be able to see what? The paint. So let's wait for paint to open up that image and allow us to edit it. Let's wait for the paint to open up. All right, so now it has opened with paint. So the next thing is for us to go to this image. As you can see here, resize and scale. So once you click on it, you will have this dialog box. Switch from percentage to what? Pixel. So you can see the current width, the current height is this. So just put something like, let's say 25, and then it will calculate its corresponding what? Horizontal width. Okay, so if you don't want this one to control this, you just click on this icon, and then if I edit anything, it will no longer what? Affect this. But if you want it to calculate the proportion itself, so once you focus on one, it will calculate the other. You will just type this one here. Now you click OK. So once you click OK, you can see that I have resized it. Now I don't want a situation whereby I will have to go back to the to my coding page and start referencing the URL. Because if I say save as now, it means that you save this one as a new image. So which means that you will not come back here and start what? Calling the URL. So but I want you to update this one automatically. So the way I'm going to do that is that I'm going to just update it here. I will just click on this save icon. In order to update whatever I have there before instead of going through save as. So once I tap here, by the time I go back to the website, you see that what the image will have what resized, and then I have it. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So
Hello?
can you hear me?
Hello? Yes. When you call on the paint,
You said?
when you call on the paint and the picture appears, was it the picture directly you click on to get when you reduce the number to 25?
Yes, it's a picture. What I did is that I went back to the folder.
Yes,
All
I
right.
know.
So after opening the folder, and then let's
You
say
click on the picture.
then I
Yeah,
right
the image.
click. You right click on that picture, not just clicking. You right click and then come to this option that says open with.
Open with,
Then
yes.
you now
Then
select this.
paint.
That is what we did. Is that clear?
Yes. So what did you now click here to?
Here. This icon.
Okay.
Before I
Okay.
switch from this to what? To this.
Okay.
I hope that is clear.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that is how you can use external objects or an image as your on order list marker. So if there's no question, we look at the last one because there are 3 types of HTML lists that we want to look at in this section. So let's quickly look at the last one. The last HTML list is HTML description list. HTML description list. Description what? List. HTML description list. Now, most time, some material will tell you HTML definition list. Whether they call it definition list or description list is the same. And it is denoted with DL, DL, and it is denoted with DL, just like the way you have OL, you have UL. Okay, so this is the principal word container when you are working with this. Well, let's look at the definition properly so that we understand what we can do with this particular list. So it is used to create a description list where, let me take this up so you can see it. So where, oh sorry, which consists of item, or let's say terms, and their description. That is why it is called description list. So let me break it down for you so that you understand what we are talking about. So let me use my notes. Now let's assume that we have different category of what products. We have some that are grouped under computer. We have some that are grouped under maybe electronic. And I want to mention in my page a header that say what? Computer. And then under it, I will say, okay, computer, we have mouse, we have keyboard. Another header. So you can see that what? You have a kind of a categorical item. So let's say we have computer now. So the computer is now the main one. So under computer, we have sub types of computer. You can see that it's not maintaining this alignment. It's telling you that what? All these items, they are under what? This particular one. All these items, they are like what? Child elements under this. So that is the kind of listing you can do with description list. Another example so that you can understand it. Let's say you are differentiating colors. So maybe you say some set of color, you mention them, depending on the scenario, actually. So let's look at the example. There are a couple of tags we need to know their meaning. There are a couple of tags we need to know their meaning. Now, the first one is the DL. The DL tag replaces the OL and the UL. Take note of that. Then, if I know that I'm going to have other DL within this page, I'll class this one. I'll say this one is DL1. Okay, now in the place of LI, which creates the content, we are going to use a different thing. We are going to use a different tag, which is called DT. So you are going to use DT. This DT means what? Description what? Term. That is the description term, which is the header is set. Like I was saying, these are computer set. So I will say what? Computer set. Computer set. Now, under computer set, we are going to have a mouse, keyboard, PDU mentioned. So that is going to be what your LI normally do for you. So that is going to be DD tag. DD tag. DD tag represents what? The description what? Data. Description data. That's the main. Now the description 10, the description itself is the word computer set. The data, the value under it, they are called what? DD. So you will now say, okay, mouse. Then I will now copy this DD, just like the way we were copying LI to generate other ones. Let me just put more. So I'll say mouse, this one is keyboard. This one is keyboard. And let's say this one is VDU. So if I go to the front now and check, you see the listing pattern. Hope you are following. You can see the way it listed them now. It gave a paragraph to let you know that these things are not the same level. This is the main object. All these ones are under it. So if I want to, let's say I've grouped those ones and I'm still under what? The DL. So I can now come back and say another DT. That is, I want to capture another description now, which could be maybe electronics. All right, then under electronic, I will now start with what? DD. See the logic now, I will say what? DVD. Then still under electronic, I will do another DD. That is, let's say, television. I hope you are getting the logic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so DD, I would say maybe, I say phone. All right, so if I go back to the front end, you see what? The hierarchy. All these ones, they are the DT, which has what? Description 10. All these ones are their what? Children. So all of them, look at the structure. Both the DT and the DD, they are all inside what? The DL. So it shouldn't go outside. So all of them should be created within the DL. Any question?
No.
Okay, so if I do something like this, look at this. I want to show you something. Let's say I come here and they say what? LI. And I wrap this one inside. Trying to check. Wrap this one inside. So if you go to the front end, what did you notice? Did the LI give you the marker?
No.
Okay, so now if I bring this one here and I say what? OL, and I expand it, and I copy, I will take this one off, and I copy all the DD. Okay, let's say I have what? LI here, LI, and then I add the DD inside it. Add the DD inside it. So if I go back to the front end, what did you notice, sir?
There's a space.
And it added number, right?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to show you is that if the emphasis is on, they want those items not just to be listed, they want them to be numbered so that you know number under the what? The DT. What structure will you now use? You create what? OL or UL inside, then wrap all the what? The DD, what? Inside it. After you have declared what? Remember that this is not coming inside the what? The OL, because that is the what? The new description. So I just cited that so that you know that there are times that you can nest tag. You saw the way you nested image. You saw the way we nested image in LI. So you just have to know that these HTML elements, some of them can be nested in what? Each other. Any question?
I have a question. In the other list, remember you said we can also insert pictures and it will be numbered, like image.
Yes.
And it will be numbered.
Yeah, I've already wiped it. I did that.
Yes. I know. But I just have a question I want to ask. Like in this, you have the cyber security listed, like if there's in a way, like when you listed it like cyber security, like this is with number, it can be alphabet or with number or with Roman figure. So I'm trying to ask if there's if you can add pictures to it like this, like if it's showing cyber security training, can you add picture to it? Then web development, can you add picture to it?
Yes, all you will do is that you now come here and put in your image after mentioning that particular or the image before it.
Yeah. Okay.
Then
Okay.
you just call
Okay.
the image. Let me just call one. So it will follow that. Sorry, that is not the one to call. So let's say if I go to the front end now, you see what happened.
Okay.
See what happened. So if you add the other one, it will be there. The only challenge you are going to face is that for this one to align, maybe to be at the center or to be at the beginning, but as it is now, it appears at the bottom. So if you add
Yes.
it now, if you add it here now, it will shift this one down. This one will also go to its bottom. So you end up having, but that is not going to give you a good user interface. So because if you have to, for you to achieve that same horizontal or maybe top alignment, it will require us wrapping both of them in one container so that we can float, so that we can align item at the center. So that is a long process. So this kind of scenario, we are going to use a UDIV and other method, not this particular one.
Okay. Okay.
I hope all is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the topic that I have for us. It's money. So we are gradually getting to where we will start. Remember I told us that what we are learning since is just trying to master the building blocks, the CSS properties that we are going to use to build the real website. So
Yes, sir.
after there is a particular tag, I think after this now is table. After table, we start learning how to create forms, those forms that people fill and click on submit. Once we are done with form, so just 2 topics away, we will now start afresh as okay, let's look at e-commerce site and start building the website. And in the course of building that website, we are going to be using all these tags that we are explaining. That is why it's very important, because while I'm building that website, I can get to a section where I want to mention the services. Then I will just call what? Either OL or UL without any explanation.
Yes.
I will assume that I have already explained it. You will just be seeing me applying it. So the essence of what we are doing is for us to, first of all, understand these things that we use. And then when we start using them, the speed of the design will be very fast, because then we will not bother ourselves with understanding what the tags and some of those CSS property. The only tag that we will explain then will be the advanced tags that we did not touch when we were dealing with. There are advanced CSS, there are advanced word tag, but I'm not touching those ones now, because the best way you can understand them is when you are using them in building what? In real websites. All right. So if
Yes,
there's a
sir.
question, we will stop here. So see us later by 9 p.m. for data analysis section.
All right, sir.
Blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll be expecting the record.
All right. Yes, I will happen.
All right.